All right, what I've got here today is Liberty Ammunition Civil Defense, and this is an ultra lightweight plus P 9mm round. This is only 50 grains, so this bullet is a very wide cavity hollow point. And in fact, when you pick up these bullets, they almost feel like training rounds. They almost feel like dummy rounds that we'd use for malfunctions. They barely feel like real rounds at all, but in fact, they are very powerful, very potent defensive rounds. So civil defense is a round that's designed to reduce recoil and to increase the transfer of energy over a very short path, the path that would be equal to the vital width that we want to penetrate inside the human body. So we always aim for somewhere in that 12-inch range. That's really what we're looking for when we do these ballistic gelatin tests. I've got a firearm here that's very similar to my carry firearm. This is a XDS. This is the 3.3-inch. I carry the 4-inch. We went with the 3.3-inch because I'd rather go with the shorter barrel for the purposes of this demonstration. I've got a magazine loaded up. I'm going to get about 10, 15 feet away. We're going to fire a round into this gelatin and see what we get. And what you see here is exactly the kind of thing that we're going to look for when we talk about a ballistic demonstration. What we want is to see a good wound channel from the solid base of the round. The base of the round is designed, of course, to penetrate, get that depth of penetration. But what we also see is that as the jacket expands, it breaks apart, and that's what's causing a lot of secondary issues right here. So this is causing a lot of damage to the person here in that first 5-6 inches, and then we have this penetration that's going that full distance that we're looking for. Now, a lot of people were concerned when they first saw this 50 grain issue, and honestly, I didn't know. This is the first time I've shot it into the ballistic gelatin to see exactly what it's going to do. The civil defense ammunition from Liberty does exactly what it's supposed to. It gives us our depth of penetration with the base, but it also creates a lot of damage out here in that 5 to 6 inch range as it enters the human body. That's what we want to see from any good hollow point, is a transfer of the energy that's in this bullet coming out of the gun into the person that we're trying to stop to defend ourselves or others in a worst case scenario. All right, so one of the things a lot of people ask about with these lightweight projectiles like the civil defense 50 grain 9mm plus P moving at 2,000 feet per second is what about intermediate barriers? Well, we've got a really heavy piece of glass here. This is actually commercial grade tempered glass from a big refrigerator unit, and it's not automotive safety glass. It's not a side window. It's probably very similar to right in between the two of them, but it's very thick. There's multiple panes here as well. So this is going to be a real test for this ammunition. We're going to see what happens. We're probably about a foot off of the glass where we would be behind any kind of vehicle glass or maybe window glass. If someone came up to, say, your front door and pointed a gun at you and you had some tempered glass in your front door, this is the kind of test that you're going to see as far as what's going to happen here inside of this ballistic gelatin. Once again, I have a Springfield 3.3-inch barrel. We're going to step back and take this shot. And what we see here is some very dramatic, I've got the gun cleared, some very dramatic penetration inside of this. We've got the glass clearly broke out. We've got all kinds of stippling from the glass, and even some of the glass penetrated and carried through with the round. Just like we saw with this other round that came in about this far, the base of the projectile penetrated much further than the top of the projectile, that hollow point that opens up and fragments. So we've got much more spread because obviously the hollow point started breaking up here when it hit the glass. So it was already starting to expand when it hit. That means the base came through and twisted and cut much more. So we see a much more dramatic twist from the rifling induced twist on the bullet on that base as it penetrated deeper than all of the other pieces that actually fragmented off. So once again, the civil defense, the 50 grain round, even through very thick tempered glass, commercial glass, multiple panes. Take a look at the angle that I see through here. We've got 1, 2, 3 panes of glass with spacing in between. This is a really tough intermediate barrier. And this is the kind of thing a lot of people worry about. They say, well, from a defensive gun with a short barrel, are we going to get the penetration we want inside of the bad guy? And what if we have an intermediate barrier? Well, this proves you're going to get that penetration, you're going to get the damage that you're looking for with the civil defense ammunition from Liberty.